I decided just for a little background scenery that I would play Spider-Man and X-Men. Obviously, I'm not recording this while I'm playing. I realize that I cannot do that very well at all. It's going to take a lot more practice for me to be able to do that. Um, but what I wanted to talk about today is a buddy of mine and I are going to be starting a podcast. And this is something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I've been trying to convince him to do with me for a really long time. Um, this guy is definitely my best friend. We were best friends as kids up until probably like age 14, 15, and then we fell out of touch with each other. You know, we went to different high schools and whatnot, and then we kept saying like, hey man, we got to get back together, we got to do something, let's go see a movie, let's get together and watch a UFC fight, let's do something, right? This back and forth planning to do something went on for about 20 years before we actually did something, which was just last year, like just a little over a year ago. And we got back together, we went and saw I think the plan was to go see Logan, and that fell through, and ended up seeing Get Out. And then from there on, we went to see like a movie once a month. We went and did some random stuff, hung out, and fell right back into our friendship from 20 years ago, which was really freaking cool. And we have the same like ridiculous, stupid nerd sense of humor. We both like comic book movies. We both like comic books. We both like dumb pop culture shit, and I don't know. I always thought we would be a good team on a podcast. However, I'm a person who obviously likes to put myself out there, likes to do videos. I have almost 500 YouTube videos now, and I've been doing it for a long time, like 6 years now. And I've just always been that person, right? Put myself out there, be ridiculous, attention seeker, right? That's who I am most of the time. Like, I hate speaking in real life in front of audiences, but I have no problem doing it online. That's something I hope to get better at in the future. Anyway, I've been trying to convince him because he is not like me at all. He is very much not the type of person that wants to be in front of a camera, very camera shy, stage frighty, and I've been trying to convince him for a long time to do this podcast with me. And he's very reluctant to do it, but I think I finally got him talked into doing it. And that's kind of what I want to make this video about, is to kind of announce that in addition to all this crazy, wacky stuff I do on my channel, all this variety of different things, we are also going to be starting a podcast. And the plan right now is to release the videos here on this channel. We may end up creating a separate channel just for the podcast, and then if anyone else has some suggestions, I'm trying to figure out where I should upload the audio, where I should put the podcast. Should I do it on iTunes, something else? Should I just do it, create our own website and do it there? Like, what do you guys think? Please give me some hints, because I know nothing about it. Just a little bit of research that we've been doing over the past like couple months or whatever. Very small amount of research, but I don't know what I'm doing, but I know that I want to do it. Inspired by stuff like Joe Rogan podcast. There's a couple different like comic book podcasts that I listen to. Kevin Smith, Fat Man on Batman podcast, and all the Smodcast shows. It's just something I feel like, I don't know, I want to do it. Just like everything else on this channel, like I made my last video about, I want to do what I want to do, and this is one of the things that I want to do. This is one of the ventures that I want to pursue. So I think I finally got camera shy Justin talked into doing this with me. So his name is Justin Logan, and if you don't already know, my name is Brett Scott. Like I said, I've been doing this YouTube thing for a while. He would be brand new to it, and you know, he's just kind of like, he doesn't want to look like a dumbass, you know? He doesn't want to look like an asshole. And, like, that's understandable. I feel the same way. It's really just a matter of getting used to it. But like I said, it's not natural for him to be an attention seeker, so... but he's very, very funny, and I feel like he would add a lot to a podcast. Like, I don't want to do it by myself, and there's no one else I'd rather do a podcast about these subjects than him. And the subject of our podcast is basically, I think it's going to be like pop culture, movies, shit like that, comic books, Marvel Cinematic Universe, DCEU, just anything we feel like talking about, really. Classic movies, basically the stuff that we banter about back and forth is the reason I decided to do this. Like, I was like, dude, people would find this very entertaining. Like, the back and forth that we have, I think there's an audience for it. I really do. And even if there's not, so what? Like, it's fun. It's basically like our monthly outings we used to do. Like, go see a movie, go play kick golf. We had a bunch of other stuff planned. And here's the kicker that I haven't told you about yet. Justin moved all of a sudden about a month and a half ago. Just randomly, him and his family up and moved. And so, after 20 years of not hanging out, we finally started hanging out again for about a year's time. And then he moved to North Carolina, which I'm in Ohio. Pretty far apart. Don't know if he'll ever move back, but I feel like this is a way to keep our friendship kind of fresh, keep us doing stuff together, like we can't go see movies and stuff like that, hang out together, but maybe we can do this podcast. And now I've figured out a way to do it to where we can basically Skype in with one another and film that and have that be our podcast. Like, basically, like, this is all bullshit, okay? I wanted a way to hang out with my best friend, and I thought that people might find our hangouts entertaining. So that is basically what our podcast is going to be. I don't know if you guys will be into it or not. If you are, cool. If you're not, whatever. Like I said, it's something for us to do. It's a creative outlet. He's not gung-ho about it, but I think he's going to have a lot more fun doing it than he realizes. And so hopefully you guys will give him a warm welcome, since he is kind of camera shy and he doesn't really like putting himself out there. Maybe you guys won't be too much of assholes to him, because I've been trying to convince him for a really long time to do this, and it's like, it hasn't been an easy road. We're just now kind of putting together a format. We don't want it to be completely structured. I want it to be a little off the cuff, where we just kind of go back and forth like we do in real life. Like, in real life, I might just send him a random movie trailer, right? Send him a link to a random movie trailer. He watches it, then we discuss it, we go back and forth. The conversation gets ridiculous, it gets stupid, it gets wacky, it gets weird, and then that's it. And then we move on to another subject, or that somehow evolves into another subject. I'm like, this would be perfect entertainment for other nerds like us. So anyway, the podcast is going to be called the Pod Shit Nerdcast. Mainly because I'm pretty sure Nerd Shit Podcast is already taken, and I think it's a clever little spin on Nerd Shit Podcast, and it makes it a little bit unique. Like, we won't really be running around with hashtag nerd shit, but we'll be talking about pod shit on our Nerdcast. Plus, I just think it's like a Nerdcast makes sense, because the stuff we're going to be talking about is total geeky nerd stuff for the most part. We're going to be talking about the Spawn movie. We're going to be talking about the MCU. We're going to be talking about science fiction stuff, Star Wars, all kinds of like nerd shit. Like, that's what it is. But I didn't want to name it Nerd Shit or Nerd anything. I wanted to make it the Nerdcast. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I'll show you a little bit more of this gameplay here that I have, and then I will be signing off. I just kind of wanted to, like I said, announce this in a more formal way than just saying, oh, there's a podcast now. But I'll make more videos about it as it kind of evolves into what it's going to be. I'll keep you guys updated on when the first show will be, where we're going to be, what format we're going to use. Are we going to put it on iTunes? Are we going to just put it on YouTube? I'm thinking Facebook, and I'm thinking that sometimes we can do like a Facebook Live and do a live podcast, but that's something I'm really going to have to work on him to do, because I don't think he's comfortable. He's already not comfortable with being on video, so our first few podcasts might be audio only. Like I said, I'm not trying to pressure him into doing it. Like, if he doesn't want to do video, that's cool. We'll just do a regular ass podcast. But I think it's cool to have. I think it's cool to have the video up at least on some format, much like Joe Rogan podcast or Kevin Smith's podcast. Like, you can listen to their podcasts on all kinds of audio format, but then you can go on YouTube and actually watch what happened kind of behind the scenes as they were filming it. So that's pretty cool. I like that aspect. But like I said, I don't know if it's going to be that yet, but in my perfect universe of what our podcast would be, that's what it would be like. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. This video is getting long enough. I don't even know how long is this thing. Getting pretty long. So thank you for watching. I hope you stick with me. I hope that you sign on for this podcast. I hope it's something that you're interested in. It's going to be completely free. I mean, just something to kill the time. I'm guessing the podcast will never go longer than an hour, but who knows? Shit gets crazy. So, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Subscribe for more if you're interested in this podcast, or if you're interested in any of the things I talk about, which is like movies, comic books, nerd shit, pop culture, TV series. I do trailer reactions. I do movie reviews, book reviews, any of that shit. If you're interested in that, subscribe for more, because that's what I do here.